took risks, broke bread, had a real agreement. When you was locked, I sent you pink slips when you needed. Said I'd be there soon as your feet fill a cement. But niggas ain't real as me, and if I ain't help you, think of the position that you still a being. You fell victim to your inner demon. It's inconvenient when somebody say they with you, but don't really mean it. You went behind my back pillow speaking. Hidden secrets get to spilling to these bitches when you feel a grievance. I never thought that we would end up beefing. I should have seen it, but couldn't. Still trying to find the missing pieces. Like I wasn't there with your nieces. You was incarcerated. Know your father hated and sister speechless. And I can get you hit the cheapest. But I put in my own work, do dirt until I sit beneath it. We was kids, you had a plug, was getting it cheaper. And we was all in the trap eating chicken and pizza. You never let me meet your plug, this while it's deeper. I met mine and I let mine officially meet you. And that situation life-changing. If I had to use words to explain it, I would write pages. But the way we playing quite dangerous. We was like brothers. Now that money got us like strangers. Know what I'm saying? That's just what the money do sometimes, you know? Make you fall out.
I don't know if y'all were here for the first episode, but when this shit ended, this is what we played. Chills, man.
Motherfuckers get short-term memory and shit.
What you're listening to right now is one of the greatest songs in hip-hop history. I don't give a fuck
you know,
what
all
you
that
say.
other shit. Hey, yo, how could you steal from me? You supposed to be my sister. How could you ever think to hurt me and not reconsider? 2 years passed, and I'm still not speaking with you. Like Big said, money in your family is an evil mixture. I was there when you needed, nigga. For the kids, I put food in the crib and gave you weed and liquor. I never thought that I'd be beefing with you. But you never miss the water till it's gone, and you don't see the picture. And to my ex-girl, I don't regret you leaving. I'm kinda glad that you gone. I need an extra freedom.
You gotta listen to him.
Every day I'm getting special treatment. And I wake up feeling like I just left a successful meeting. These niggas won't catch you sleeping. It be the same ones you looked out for and gave them extra pieces. It's jealousy that kept you speaking. I might pull up with the windows down. That's just to let you peek in. Trust.
The beat is so soulful. Man, listen. I dead ass feel like that was like the end of a movie. Like New Jack City just ended. Good movie. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta calm down because the anxiety is high. That's how I feel every time we got 38 Spesh in the building.
I appreciate that, man. What's
a legend, my guy. I appreciate you for pulling back up.
I appreciate you having me back here, man.
I told you the whole time. Since the show ended, we spoke on it that this shit's got to happen again. But man,
real shit.
I'm telling you, we had the conversation just the other week. And we're going through the lineup. Yeah. And it's the spitter of the year, spitter of the decade. We got 38 Spesh in the building again. This is episode 129.
129.
129. Good Lord. So what's been up with you, man? How you living?
Oh, man, I can't complain, man. I'm working, you know what I'm saying? Back to work, man, you know what I mean?
Busy.
A lot of progress since the last time I've been here, you know what I'm saying?
What was the fun fact that you gave me earlier?
Which one?
About the last time we did the episode.
Almost a year ago exactly to the day.
To the day.
Facts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is crazy.
Facts.
Because a lot can happen in a year.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
A lot of action, a lot of growth, a lot of, new stuff, new movements, a lot of adjustments.
Right. Right.
And I feel you can't say that you ever took off working. You know what I mean? You got album dropping after album after album, collab albums. You just keep dropping content.
Yeah. I take little breaks like I might chill for like 30 days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It can't be longer.
That's a break for me. That's big time. You know, I live in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I suggest any artist that's focusing on their craft, you should live in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Facts.
And then you got also, since the last time you've been up here, you got LeBron bumping your shit, KD bumping your shit. Everybody knows what time it is now. I can't say we could take props for it because we can't. We weren't even that big yet. You know what I mean? As I said before, what we could take props for is we had 38 Spesh in the building, and that
Facts.
leveled us up. So when we send out the emails, yo, we'd like you to come on our platform. Here's a list of the people that we had on there. When they see 38 Spesh's name, what do they think? If they're coming up here and they're a rapper,
oh, they know.
They better bring that.
Yeah, some balls and shit, man. But y'all recognize the talent early. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
I mean, motherfuckers catching up now.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, they catching up now. You know what I'm saying?
And in addition to the talent, it's always a pleasure to have somebody who's authentic to come up here and have a conversation like grown men, sitting at the round table, you know, talking about real stuff. Because when we talk, it's not just music. We're talking about the man behind the music too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the blessings of having you here again, back for the second time, and we're gonna do this again and again. You know.
Word up.
And something we've been talking a lot about lately is family. Mm-hmm. And you know, I got my son here, right here, every day with me, right next to me. And you also do that. So you work and you have a family.
Facts.
What is that like for you?
Well, man, it's you know, it's dope. You know, I wouldn't trade it for nothing. You know what I'm saying? They my motivation, my kids. You know what I mean? Like, they my motivation. You know.
You got a new one since.
Yeah. I just had a little boy.
Congrats.
On my birthday, I died.
Congrats.
Oh, shit, congrats.
Yeah, so he like my little twin. He in the making. You know what I mean?
Best gift in the world.
Yeah, that was crazy. Best gift. So, yeah, man. It's fire, though, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the energy, man, the kids add life to the house, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I record. I do a lot of recording at home and shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm just at peace, like I'm being around genuine love,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Right. As opposed to being outside. You know, I spent a lot of time outside, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And one thing that's really dope about having a studio, you know, with such close access, you don't know when creativity is gonna find you.
Right.
You don't know when your next idea or inspiration come find you. It could be from a movie. It could be from scrolling through Instagram or whatever it possibly is. So having a studio right here, it's like, oh, matter of fact, let me go jump in there. Mm-hmm. You can wake up with something on you. Oh, let me go put this on wax real quick. Mm-hmm. You know, and even let it marinate, even if that's not the final product, but you getting your ideas, getting your stuff out, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that's got to be a game changer for sure.
Nah, it's the best shit. I advise any artist to have a home studio at least. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you would be able to record whenever that you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Facts.
Fire.
What is the process like for you? You smoke up and just jump in the booth? Or?
Yeah, I'm about to blunt a verse. That's how I count it. I'm a blunt a verse and
That's
shit.
good math.
Yeah, that's how I count it and shit. I'm a blunt a verse, you know. By the time the blunt done, I'm ready to go in the booth. You know what I'm saying? I sit there, smoke, and keep reciting that shit, putting that shit together. See, I go in a corner somewhere. I need complete isolation. I'm tapping into like some highest spiritual shit. Yeah, people think that this shit is just like some creative. Nah, this is spiritual. You know, so I have to isolate myself and go somewhere. You know, and then I tap into a higher frequency, and then it just start, you know, coming and pulling. Because I really don't need no pen and no paper. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just need the energy.
Right.
The energy is what controls what comes. So I have to, like, I go in a corner, you'll see me go in a corner, and then you'll see me, like, talking to myself, and, like, the other rappers in the room, they be, like, a little scared and shit, like, the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck he about to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm in the corner just ready to kill some shit.
When you get ready to do that, are you channeling a different persona or, like, an alter ego? Or are you just drawing from?
I'm just drawing from the energy that's in the room. It's like, you know, I go into a corner specifically because I need to really black out. I need complete isolation. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't want to look at nothing else. And then I just tap into something, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then it just come, you know what I'm saying?
I also hear a lot of people say that for that same reason, because I'm trying to channel what I got going on, I don't listen to other rappers.
Yeah, I really don't. Honestly, that's the crazy part, because I was asked today, like, who's my favorite artist? So I really couldn't answer the question because I really don't listen to no one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For several reasons, though. You know, lack of creativity, You know what I'm saying? And like lack of believability, lack of authenticity. You know, I really don't. You know what I'm saying?
What's that gonna do for me?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I really don't listen to motherfuckers and shit. You know what I'm saying? But
you're a rare breed.
I appreciate that.
Rare breed. And there's only, again, like I spoke to you earlier about, I feel like that on the Spesh level, there's very few. Now, one of those guys that I would put up there is Fred the Godson.
Gordo.
Did you sign Fred the Godson back in the day?
I mean, he joined my movement, and we did like some one-off project. You know, he wasn't exclusively signed to me as an artist, but you know, we did like a one-off deal where I put out an album for him, executive produced the album for him. Oh. You know, and I had plans on doing more, and we recorded a whole bunch of music. Right. You know what I'm saying? And we got one that's actually unreleased that I fully produced. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
an album?
Yeah,
that nobody even heard yet.
That nobody even heard. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, y'all could expect that coming soon and shit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's gonna be
crazy.
Yeah.
I was telling you the other day. It's a territory that most people can't go to.
What you mean?
They can't. When Fred the Godson was on Funk Flex, and you heard the verse, you really got to listen to the verse 38 times to catch everything. That's what Spesh could do.
Hello.
You know what I mean? You got to keep listening to it over and over again, and you're like, damn, I just heard something else. Or damn, I just heard something else. It keeps popping up at you. Not too many people could do that. It's rare. Like, you hear dope shit. Don't get me wrong. People spit dope shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But, like, to consistently put out that type of content that you have to, like, the first listen isn't the best listen.
Right.
You know what I mean? You catch it more and more and more until you're reciting it to people and you're like, you don't even get it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That'd be the best shit. That'd be the best shit.
It's one of those rare things. And you got that. All your projects that you have with other people are so fire. I was speaking to you about Ransom. Ransom is another one of those. You and him got some fucking...
That's my bro.
Jesus.
I see you played that Rituals record. Yeah. That shit, man, that shit is one of my favorites.
Yeah, Rituals is one of those warm-up tracks for me. Every time I'm in the whip, I got to play it.
That shit is amazing. Yeah, that shit is amazing. I can't even lie to you. Ransom, one of them guys, man, he give me that good energy that I be needing. You know, it's hard to find guys that inspire me. When Rand send a verse, it's like, okay. You know what I'm saying?
Doing
like,
this
okay.
today, yeah.
You know what I mean? Some guys, they send a verse, you like, all right, I'm about to, you know, with Rand, it's like, all right. Like, this ain't nothing to play with. Like, you know what I mean? It's that energy, like, ooh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How did y'all come to link up?
Shit, man, back like over 10 years ago, when I was just coming up, ain't nobody know who my name was. I paid him for a feature. When I paid him for a feature and shit, he like, oh, this nigga kind of nice.
Right.
Then he reached back out to me years later and put me on one of his mixtapes.
Okay.
I always remembered that and shit.
Yeah.
So years later, when I started to like jump back in this shit, he was one of the guys I would reach out to. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So like my first serious project was called Son of G Rap. I put that out 2018, and I made sure I went and got Rand on there. Rand was like kind of chilling, starting to chill at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then as I started to understand the underground lane more, and understand how to like you know, monetize it.
Okay.
I was like, oh shit, let me tell bro, because he one of them niggas that they fuck with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So it's like
it was just information. It was like, damn, I found out some shit that I didn't know, that I know if he knew. Same shit with Fred. It was the same shit with Fred.
Same energy.
It was like, yo, Fred, I figured some shit out that worked for us.
Right.
It's a lane for us, for niggas that know how to rap.
Real rap.
You heard? Well, we ain't got to do nothing else but what we do. Fuck a hook, fuck a club song, fuck a bitch record. Like, we could do that if we want, but we don't have to. Because we was always programmed to think we got to get hot by following a certain formula. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of guys got discouraged and just stopped rapping. A lot of them started back rapping just now because they see, you know, what's going on and see the lane. But a lot of guys that, you know, I grew up, you know, fucking with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's
due to lack of information, though, not fully knowing how to capitalize off of the talent. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. And a group of those, obviously, is on the hat. You know what I mean? Griselda.
Hello.
Definitely. You know, like they was the guys that motivated me to see like, oh, okay, it could be done. It's a lane for this. You know, that helped me transition from all of that street shit and fully focus on this. You know,
I remember a time living in Buffalo where Benny was on his own lane,
right,
and he was with you,
right.
I remember that whole movement,
right. You know what I'm saying?
And then you even heard the difference in the music and where it was going at that time.
Exactly. You know, music was going through its changes and shit, and you know, we was just making music. You know what I mean? We fully understand that it was this lane that, you know, certain shit we should stay away from, you know, and focus just on this lane. You know what I'm saying?
All right, take it all the way.
You know what I mean? And yeah, but you know,
I think that's something that is positive about the digital world, right? Like at first it was all about radio. Right. You know what I mean? You only heard shit on fucking MTV, BET, or just the radio. And then when it became like the digital era, which I kind of hate the digital era, but it is what it is, right? When it came to that, it's like, okay, everybody has a mood they could listen to for themselves. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like if I go through my playlist, you ain't playing none of that shit in the club. Mm-hmm. But that's the shit that I'm listening to on a daily basis. So I'm spinning that more than the clubs are spinning it. You feel me? That's every single day. And everybody has now their personal playlist and the music they're listening to. They definitely need to chop out a little bit more. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But everybody has that now. So it's not rare. It used to be rare that I play a Griselda record or a 38 Spesh record out here that people would really hear it when I first moved out here. After a while, now you see everybody becoming hip to that, to the real music and shit that they're listening to now. It's not just club hits anymore. The whole world has changed to it. You know what I mean? You can find it anywhere. And you see that when you see LeBron James posting it and Kevin Durant posting it. Like fans of hip hop in that industry. And when they do, that boosts the algorithm even more. It's like, who? 38 Spesh? Where you at? You know what I mean? So it's been dope. It's dope.
Yeah, I love it, man. Just staying true, you know what I mean, to the shit that, you know, I like doing and I like listening to.
Right.
You know, not converting due to the climate. Just sticking to what I know.
Is it tempting at all to try to do you like a Uzi record or like a Playboy?
Hell no.
Hey, I was about to say, no
I'm going to
way.
be honest with you, like that shit, I don't even think about that shit.
Okay.
It don't even cross my mind. Like when I ride with people and they listen to it, like I appreciate them playing those records. That's when I get a chance to, that's the only time I get a chance to see what else going on out there. I know it's a time and a place for that. I know that ain't the service I provide. So that's their lane. They provide that service.
I see.
You know, me, I provide a certain energy that they can't provide.
True.
So, you know, I do what I do. You know what I mean? Like, you don't go to KFC looking for hamburgers and shit. So that, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like I said, though, I appreciate it, but I'm never, it don't tempt me like, yo, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know?
Yeah.
I knew the answer to that.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I just want to hear
I think that's the power of independence, though. Because if I wasn't independent and I wasn't able to make a living from me just doing what I was doing, it probably would tempt me because I would see the motion that these guys have and probably would be like, damn, I need to do that.
I need to do it, right.
So, you know, I don't fault people that look at things from that perspective. I just got a different view due to the power of independence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I can see how that would definitely affect your decision making and which way you sway towards.
Yeah.
Plus, you come from a very OG cloth. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why would I? You know what I mean? Let me do what I do, and let me.
Yeah, I do come from an OG cloth where it's not really too cool to follow trends. It's not like a thing to like really follow waves. That really ain't a thing. Well, I try to explain that to my young boys and shit. Like every wave that come on, they follow and shit.
Lesson.
You know, like I come from a different cloth and shit where we don't embrace things too easily. And we don't embrace strangers and people and different ways of life too easily. We stick to what we know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Facts.
Trust.
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 But I think that is also just because I want to give credit to it, but it is true. I feel like that's something that we do up north.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's natural to just go your own route and do that. And that for me is all coming back. You know, when I spent time in Israel, I'll never forget a conversation I had with this dude. He was a gambler. And he's, you know, everybody always wins. But this dude's always talking about how he wins and what he does to stay up. And he's like, history always repeats itself. You could always bet on that. And I'm like, how the fuck would that even apply to sports? But he had his own theory. But if you look at life, if you look at hip-hop music, it ran away from that authenticity for so long. Like it was all gimmicky. And don't get me wrong, it was good music and they had their music that was out, but it lacked substance for a long time. And it seems like we're back in that era now where there's substance coming out. You could hear it so much, and people could argue, oh, well, there was this person. They weren't anywhere near the forefront. Now it's here. It's strong. You hear that hip hop element. You hear substance in music a lot more than we've heard it in a long time. So I feel like we're back in that 90s era.
Yeah, where it's growing back to where you got to be able to say something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's getting back to the point where people don't want to hear something they feel like they could do. If like, you know what I'm saying? This used to be a talent thing. Like, everybody couldn't do it. That's why we, liked it.
Right.
Now it's like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you could say 6 words now, and they're like, oh, and that's it. It's like the most fire verse ever, 6 words. Yeah, everybody's telling, no, you ain't hear this, though. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, that ain't it, boy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That is not it.
They clip the soundbite, put it on TikTok, and then
that's
somebody
how it
does a
rotates
skit
now.
to it or a dance to it.
Yeah, these young boys call everything a bar. They be like, he was snapping. Like, he ain't saying shit.
Yeah, what did he just say? So who would you consider, if you were to say, aside from yourself, what's the top pen?
In the game?
Yeah.
The top pen? Back to me not listening to niggas?
Yeah.
The thing about it, though, right? Only thing I know is the niggas that I'm rapping with.
I was about to say that. You got
There's
the list of the
nobody
people
rapping better than the people that I'm rapping with. Like, period, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people that study this shit and, like, the people that understand this shit, that know what this shit hitting for, they know what it's hitting for. You know?
Yeah.
We like the X-Men and shit with this shit.
I like that.
You know, real shit, though.
That's a good one.
at the end of the last episode, you snapped.
Yep.
Talked crazy shit. Not crazy shit, real shit, but you snapped when you were talking about, like, they can't fuck with me.
Oh, that's a fact,
Nobody
though.
could fuck with me.
Damn, that's crazy because but now the crazy part about that, right? This is some crazy shit. I was saying that, right? And I was being honest, just how I honestly feel. Right. Due to the fact that, I know how to measure motherfuckers' pens and shit. I'm talented. I know how to measure pens. Hey. But then, like, I say about 3-4 months later and shit, they was asking KD and shit, who you think is the best right now? And then they mentioned a bunch of rappers' names and shit like 4 or 5. And it's like, nah, 38 Spesh the best in the world. Ooh. Best in the world right now. Now, that ain't me. You know what I'm saying? Now, at the end of the day, it's a lot of other motherfuckers that feel like that.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, see, when it come to what I do, I'm the best at what I do. Like, I'm not the best at what those niggas do. They the best at what they do, but they can't. Nobody punching like me. Like, you got niggas that can rap, but my punch is a little hard. I'm like Tyson and shit. My shit is tucked. You don't know when it coming. When it hit you, it hit very hard. You know what I'm saying? Right. It hits very hard, and a lot of niggas could rap. A lot of niggas got their specialties of what they do, but when they come to punching, they not hitting like me. You know what I'm saying?
That's that talk. Go on.
Yeah, I feel like that puts people in fear of getting in the booth with you. But I feel like you're selective too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like if somebody presented you an opportunity for a record and you weren't fucking with it, you're just like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I fuck with talented motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's my thing and shit. You know what I mean? But I give credit to the motherfuckers that's not scared and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. The ones that know and still dare. Like, all right, okay, come with it then. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's a good energy to have because y'all basically pushing each other.
Right.
I think you need a little bit of competition in rap.
Right.
Even if it's homie to homie, shoulder to shoulder, even if we on the same track.
This is a competitive sport, man.
Right.
Just like every sport supposed to be competitive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like that.
Like, we here to get busy. Like, don't play on record with me.
Like, wake up, baby.
Don't play on record with me.
Fred Money just hit me up, and he's like,
Fred.
which we were talking about the other day. Seven Shots is a classic.
Yo, that's fire because Fred was at the listening session that I had for 7 Shots. So I remember his response when I was playing these shits. 7 Shots, I appreciate that. Yeah. That shit is a classic. And it's crazy, man. I wish my engineer was here because I called him like right before I recorded it. I said, yo, you ready to record a classic? I ain't prior to that, I ain't been in the studio in a couple months. I was chilling, my little vacation.
Yeah.
I came back, went to the studio and recorded that whole project in a day.
Ooh. Damn.
Yeah, that's how I do though. You know what I'm saying?
You have something to do.
I might go live a little bit.
I think that's important.
You gotta get that. You can't just do that, or you're gonna be, saying the same shit. You gotta live and grow a little bit. Then you bring that back to the booth with you.
Pull from your experiences.
Yeah, you pull from the experiences. 7 Shots is a monumental project for me. I got a lot of personal attachments to that shit, man.
Tough.
Plus, I was punching like a motherfucker, boy. There's so many bars in that shit, man.
You said open a daycare for these broke hoes.
Right, right. No, it's a million of them. It's a million of them bars in there, man.
Yeah, nah, that one.
Shit.
That one goes. That whole album just goes. I mean, your albums really do though. Even when it's with somebody else, the chemistry is always perfect. And that when you say that, I get it. I know you're not just getting on the verse with anybody.
Right.
When you hear these records, they gel so well. You know that everybody's bringing their A game when they come to it. But 7 Shots, man, I'm telling you, it's just a different album.
Yo, it's
crazy. That's one that people just need to tune into.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. Y'all gotta go listen to 7 Shots, man. 7 Shots is amazing. Like, when I tell y'all it's amazing, it's amazing. And y'all want to hear some good music, some real good, lyrical, heartfelt, authentic shit, go and listen to 7 Shots, man. Yeah. This is a fact.
Let's go.
Now, you just did a tour.
Yeah, about 15 cities.
How did that go with the fans screaming word for word?
Yo, that shit was so amazing, bro. Like, every time I step out and these people rapping my shit.
Trip you out.
And I know I never had a song on the radio. I never made nothing for the club. But these shits is hits. These shits is hits. And now these shits dropping up, these motherfuckers is like, oh my God.
Spit your shit.
No real shit though, because they feel this shit.
That's crazy.
I love that shit, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was beautiful.
If I wish you could take a camera from the moment of conception, from when you in the corner, in the studio, blunt 3, all the way to putting it down. Boom, boom, boom. I'm in Atlanta now, and they singing it word for word. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I kept the camera rolling the whole time. So eventually, the people gonna see the journey. They gonna see it because I keep the camera rolling the whole time.
That's big now.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So, eventually I'm gonna show people the whole journey and
Gotta
shit.
tell the story. Gotta tell the story.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That shit's gonna be crazy. And it's, for me as a fan, when I'm watching YouTube videos, for me it's always the illest shit I've ever seen every time is when an artist drops the beat down and they're live and you just hear the fans going, spitting that shit word for word. That's from sitting behind the screen watching this shit. How does that feel when you're on the stage though?
It's like the best feeling in the world, man, because it's like I said, it's some spiritual shit.
It's real.
Because I'm not just up here rapping I'm rapping some real life personal shit. This is personal shit.
Yeah.
That these people was, you know what I'm saying?
Grabbing onto like
that they feel, cause I tapped into a certain place and I brought them there with me. It just showed, you know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful feeling, man.
It is. And no, like this is gonna sound crazy, but it's not crazy. All right, you were there. And there's a difference between music that has those messages in it and then club music. We were at the J. Cole concert, right? And J. Cole could spit. And he's getting into his bag, and then he brought out Drake and Future.
Right.
And it was like bad timing. Because everybody was so emotional with everything that when Drake came out and you hear like the club music, they did the Too Sexy joint.
Right.
It didn't sound right. It didn't fit right. I mean, I'm sure obviously the crowd went crazy, but it's like you're going from a moment of deep emotion that the shit that you're spitting it's coming from the heart. And then it's like Too Sexy. You know what I mean? It's just like it didn't match right. And so when you have that element and you got an entire fan base, like when they're reciting these lyrics, they're reciting like a story.
That's just what they reciting.
Yeah.
These is real pieces of my life. Every time, that's why the projects sound like that. Projects sound like a movie. It start like it, end like it. And you gonna get to know more about me by the end of this. Every time I give you a project, I'm giving you a piece of me. You know what I'm saying? That's how much living, that's how much outside I've been out. That I got enough shit to talk about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To pull from.
Yeah. Now something that because it's so prevalent and I think it's such an important story. When you spoke on family earlier, and you heard about what happened to Gillie the King's son. And you have an 18-year-old son for yourself. Being out on the road and doing all this, is that something that you fear?
Man, hell, fuck yeah. You feel that about everybody that you love, especially your kids and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Even if you're not on the front lines, even if you're not in the public eye, it's just a natural concern, I guess.
Yeah, especially when you're just a caring parent. Me, I can't go a day without knowing where my kids is at and how they doing, their well-being and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, because
I can't imagine that, like, and it's jumped into the light for me because I'm always now in front of a camera. Right. Before that, and I just had a son, so I can't sit here and act like I've been dealing with this my whole life. But it's something that I'm experiencing now, and I'm like, man, like, what happens when this blows up and they're like, you got to go to this state or you got to go to this state to do an interview? Right. And how would I feel being away from home, knowing that I got my kids out there?
Yeah, that's the way. I honestly see, like, as I grew to this age, I hate leaving the house. You know what I'm saying? Like
what you built.
Yeah, I don't even like leaving the house. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I minimize my movement. You know what I'm saying? At this point in age, I made it out of a lot of shit, made it through a lot of shit. So I don't put myself, I don't go outside much.
Right. Why put yourself at risk?
If I ain't going to pick up some cash, and then if the cash ain't adding up, if the risk is too much, I ain't even going for that.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You said you hit 15 cities in the U.S., right? But what is the movement like compared to what goes on overseas?
What you mean,
like how do they receive your music overseas?
Shit, man. I haven't been overseas since 2018. And my buzz wasn't where it was at now. When I was over there, I did like 8 cities in Europe. I did like 8 places in Europe and shit with G-Rap.
Okay.
And they were going retarded. The way they act over there and appreciate music is crazy. Like, they barely knew who I was, and they was just appreciating me at a very high level. Right. I know when I go back this time, it's going to be a super movie. You know what I'm saying?
They show a lot of love out there, man.
Out there back then, 2018, it was popping up at shows with vinyls and shit for me to sign.
Shit.
And, it was like they support and their energy is at an all-time high for hip-hop over there. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they really fuck with it.
Nah, they really, really fuck with it.
It's crazy, too.
And it's hip-hop that they fuck with the most.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, those are the individuals that got the tattoos, that got the murals. You know what I mean? Like, they're everywhere with it. They're not. I feel like the U.S., a lot of people are a little too proud. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm nice too, and my cousin's
with
nice.
You. They fuck with you because I deal with that a lot. It'd be like niggas be dead fans of you. but they ain't doing too much, you know, crowd participation and shit. They too cool for that. I'm one of them niggas too and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come to your concert and I'm gonna raise my cup when my shit come on and shit. But you know, I might not do no call and respond with you and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it is
You
what it
know,
is.
but my shit come on, I might raise my cup to your shit. You know what I'm saying? So I understand it.
Now we had, since you've been up here, we went on a little run with a bunch of battle rappers.
Right.
I feel like you would be phenomenal in a battle. Would you ever consider battling somebody?
Nah, but you know, the thing about it is this, right? You know, I don't think that shit really be fair for a nigga like me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What do you mean?
like the playing field, I don't really think it's fair to jump from, you know, gaining the following and making records to jumping in they lane. You know, it'd have to be some type of even playing field. Like if we was battling, it had to be like on a record. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like if we was putting out records and, you know, doing it like that. Like far as what they do, that's their lane.
Right.
Like they can't really come in my lane and do what I do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you got some of them that make, you know, decent music and shit, but at the same time, y'all know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't think I wouldn't jump in their lane, you know what I'm saying? Because you know, that's their lane and the way it's regulated ain't the way that I kind of regulate shit.
Yeah.
You could do a lot off imagination. It ain't really and don't get it twisted. Like I admire this shit to the fullest. But you know, my rap rules is a little different. I got rap rules and shit. Like we can't say shit that we really don't do. We can't talk about shit that we don't got. You know, we can't really be who we not.
And they talk real crazy.
You know, we really don't. We got rap rules that we live by. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because with battle rap, they do a lot of the fabrication to get the punch across. You know what I mean?
A lot of soda, a lot of stretching.
Yeah.
On the to get to the punch. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, nah. See, you say that because I got punches. I hit hard like one of them niggas.
Why?
See, I hit hard like one of them niggas.
So what I think, right, like in my view of what would happen in the battle rap, maybe the fans won't perceive it the same way. But I know that the person standing across from you, I know that you'll hurt their feelings. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's the type of dude you are.
They don't. Let me tell you something. When it come to that pin like that, they don't want to play with me. Like they don't want to play with me. Yeah. Like nobody want to play with me when it come to the pen, battle rap or any of that type shit. I hit too hard. And I'm coming from too much of an authentic place and shit. This ain't imagination rap. It's like you said, like it's not too many people living that could pull from this level of experience.
That's true too.
And then punch you with it. You know what I'm saying?
Different.
Like I pull from experience and punch you in the face and help and fix your life up. You can't come to me rapping all of this shit and your life not together. Like that's not gonna work with me. That's not gonna work.
I don't know. We might have to talk you into it because you already getting amped. Like,
hey man, I'm just telling you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
So what's been since it's been a year, and I know you have a lot going on. What's been the biggest thing that's been going on in your life right now?
The biggest thing, man. Shit, man.
That's tough.
Let me rephrase it.
Yeah, because that's
a little
bit crazy. Like,
so I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And I'm fascinated by how much of an entrepreneur you are.
Appreciate that.
So what do you got going on right now? Because I know you're into real estate.
Right.
I know you're into your businesses. What do you got going on?
Well, you know, man, it's just been rinse and repeat for me. I haven't been doing too much new besides just reinvesting in what I already do.
That's the game.
The biggest thing for me, is, you know, I had a baby boy on my birthday, man. Don't really get no bigger than that. You listen, the money gonna come. The money gonna come, and it comes. You heard? Yeah. But the biggest blessing is I had a son on the day I was born. You know, so when you say the biggest, that's the first thing come to my mind. For always like the hustle, like I've been doing that since 19. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that shit don't even highlight. Those is not even highlights to me no more. It's like, nah, I bust a play. or I'm gonna keep busting plays
going.
until I die.
Right.
You know, and I don't really measure my happiness from that anymore. My shit used to be completely based on that. I don't even pay attention to that no more. Okay. I know that's gonna come, and everything that's supposed to come to me gonna come naturally, long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
That's wisdom, people.
Yeah, so like when you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you got to sit there and keep counting your money, looking at your bank account, doing all of this shit. You surprised you got it. Yeah. So you keep looking at it and you keep reassuring yourself. Once you living in your light and you know who you supposed to be, everything gonna come and you stop worrying about that. Stop worrying about that.
That scarce mentality.
Yeah, so it's like, nah, I know what everything I'm supposed to have, I'm gonna get. So now I find happiness in other shit that I'm not gonna be able to get back, like chilling with my little man and taking the little girls to the park while they want to chill with me and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. On some grown man shit, because it's been a point of, after busting moves for so many years, it's like, life is life.
Yeah. Did that already.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, shit. When I was young, I used to get that satisfaction of getting a new car and pulling up on the block, letting niggas see me and shit. It was a certain,
I still got to get over that shit.
Yeah, everybody got to get it out their system. No, don't get it twisted. Everybody got to get it out their system. It's nothing like shitting on the motherfuckers that counted you out and ain't believing you and. You have to get that shit out your system and shit. Yeah, I think after you rinse that shit out your system, though, you really start realizing what's really important and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I took a lot of losses, man. I lost a lot of people that was dead to me. You know what I'm saying? My mother. I just lost my brother like 6-7 months ago.
Sorry to hear about that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And after taking big losses like that, you start looking at shit different.
Start to reevaluate what's really important.
This is a fact. Yeah. You start to find happiness in different shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you used to, taking care of yourself.
Right.
It's really a big deal. Having shit and busting plays is just a big deal to a nigga that ain't used to taking care of himself. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
I think two things really put time into perspective for people, especially if you of the urban community, however you want to put that. It's doing time and losing a life. Mm-hmm. Those two things will set you straight and really have you, we always say, when in doubt, zoom out. You're on the screen and everything starts to get a little, zoom out. Okay, hold on, let me make some sense of this. Let me look at the whole playing field. Those two things, there's nothing like it. Whether you like it or not, you will reassess the shit that you're doing now, the shit that you want to be doing in the next 4 to 5, 10 years, the life that you lost and how they would want you to live your life. All that shit comes into play. You start doing math different. Unfortunately, it's part of growing up. Not everybody can make it with you. Not everybody can live 100 years. It's just a fact of life. But man, I feel sorry for the people that don't take time to reflect after a loss of life, after sitting down and doing some time. I don't care if you do 3 months. Take some time to evaluate what the fuck you got going on and where you're headed. You know what I'm saying? And then once you get there, things could change. Sit back, relax. Don't worry about the car anymore. That shit is all irrelevant when you lose life and lose time.
And that's a fact. This is a fact.
Yeah.
So like now, having those kids and going through loss and going and having success in other places outside of music, how is it passing that down?
It's like, what you mean, like passing it
to
down?
Your children? Do they receive it, or are they too cool too?
Nah, they understand everything that's going on and shit, man. And it's a beautiful thing. They watch the transition, cause I got kids at different ages and shit that actually see me, inspiring to make this happen, making a transition and shit to like now when we go places, I get recognized everywhere we go and shit. Like my 8-year-old told me I need security the other day. She said, "You need security."
Dad, who was that?
Yeah, like 2 minutes. She know, like that was his fans and shit. She know.
Yeah.
Cause people come up, they take pictures everywhere we go now. I'm at the supermarket and it's the person cutting the meat like, "Trust." I'm like, yo, this shit real.
But they don't know that daddy is about that action though.
Yeah. Real
You
shit.
know what I mean? But that's cool to keep it away from them for a while. You know what I'm saying? Until they truly understand it. But you are their Superman. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's something that I'm sure, feel amazing with. And that's what I always want to be. I don't ever want to take time away from my children and not be present for them to understand that, you know, daddy's got you. You know what I'm saying?
That's the most important thing, right? Yeah. It's just them knowing, like, yo, you got a dad. Like, you want that assurance. Like, long as they know, like, you know, now you got a pops out here, you good. Like, that be important. Like, we be wanting them to know that. That's why us being present is so important. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you're not going to take that from me. You know what I'm saying?
Super. Well, plus it's one of those things, like, if you don't do it, somebody else will, unfortunately. If they're not learning from you, they're going to learn from the streets. They're going to learn from the bad movie or the stupid Instagram page or Shade Room. Don't let Shade Room raise your kids. Don't let World Star raise your kids. Don't let them seek guidance or wisdom or any type of lessons from social media. You know what I'm saying? You got to be present. You got to be around. You want to have that influence. And just, we talked about this before too, having Cassidy up here, he was talking about that. He was talking about just the importance of being present. Even if you don't help them do their homework or walk them to school, just being present has a profound effect on them. Just that they see that there's a man in their life and there's somebody that they can come to. It really does kind of change the dynamic versus not being there.
Agreed.
You know, so it's definitely important. It's dope that you keep that as a priority.
Hell yeah.
Because in this lifestyle, in this industry, you don't hear too much of that. You know what I mean? People don't really hold that as up to the forefront, up too high. I don't know if it's out of fear of mentioning it too much to the public because you want to kind of keep that private, or I'm not sure if it's just not something that they do, so they can't speak on it.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of guys that don't, you know, put the time in and shit. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of other things is more important. Right. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
You know how that shit be.
Hell yeah. Especially where you city to city, town to town, state to state, doing all that stuff.
Motherfuckers that's in the same city, bro, that's not going to see their kids, man. Their kids is round the corner, man, hungry as a motherfucker, and they out to eat with a bitch, man.
I'm laughing with it, you know.
No, this is dead serious, man. This is the average motherfucker. They feel like the mama got it. She got a job. She going check to check. She got a job. You feel like she good, they good. These guys is crazy. This new generation that we got, like when I was young, and that's how the OGs used to talk to me. When I was young,
y'all just don't know. Wait till you grow up.
Nah, they wanted money at least though. That's one thing I could say. I came outside, people wanted money.
Yep.
Like these guys are stealing cars to ride in them. Not even to make no money.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they was going outside to get money when I was a kid. It's not even like girls ain't even want to deal with you if you ain't had no cash. Like none of these young guys got cash, so I don't know what the fuck is incentivizing them. Like, that shit is crazy.
Strictly the cloud. No, it's a shame. Social media definitely has an effect on folks, man. It's gonna be interesting to see how it goes and where it goes, especially with the implementation of artificial intelligence and all that. People are gonna be able to. They're going to be raised by artificial intelligence. It's going to be the memory of your father. And that's what's going to be something that might raise somebody, you know? Crazy.
He brought in that good tequila.
I had to go get that special delivery.
He brought in that good
tequila. You know, a year ago, the first time I tried this is when Spesh sent me to the store to grab that Clase Azul.
And he came back with this good shit.
And they said they didn't have it, and they had me try this. And ever since then, it's been one of my favorite drinks.
Yeah, I don't even drink that Clase Azul shit no more.
Nah. There it is.
Yeah, I'm done after this. Like, not after this cup. I mean, after I go back to the East Coast. I mean, to New York. I'm not drinking and shit.
Nah.
I've been drinking every day.
What's the motivation?
Health.
Okay.
I want to live a long ass time and shit.
Okay. Salud, by the way.
No
Salud.
Even though I know a lot of alcoholics that's still kicking.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I be feeling it, man. We're doing this podcast because I'm on some like drink champs type level right now. Man, I'm feeling it.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
I'm feeling it. And like, I'm about 38 years old now.
Congrats,
right?
me too, man.
38 Spesh, you know?
38 Spesh, man.
And man, I'm telling you, like, it's different now waking up. Like, we got the show. I mean, this shit's going to make me feel it for sure. We get the show. I wake up in the morning. I'm like, I go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? I got to try to get this little run in real quick. And it ain't the same. It don't work like it used to. Sometimes I'm like, I ain't going to no goddamn gym. You know what I mean? I don't feel ready to go to the gym.
I feel you, man.
Health is absolutely wealth, though. And if you're playing longevity, if you got kids, it's important for you to do what you got to do to be around for them kids and for yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't do it for anybody, do it for yourself. My theory is the way I know I want in life is not only will I meet my grandkids, but I want to be able to keep up with my grandkids. I want to be able to, the moment I can't cross the street by myself, just take me out.
Oh shit!
I want to
take me out.
So let me ask you this:
saying.
what is it? What is an age that's too old to have kids and shit? Because I'm still pushing out kids and shit. I'm trying. What's the age that's too old?
I mean, you got Al Pacino that just had a kid in his 80s
But we know
or some
damn
shit.
well that's too old.
Yeah.
Just because you can have them, though, like, we know damn well.
I mean,
like,
for me
like,
specifically,
realistically, like, what you think is a good age, knowing, like, you know, that you could realistically be active in a kid's life and shit? Because I be thinking about that. I'm like, yo, I ain't too young and shit. I might have to stop in a couple years and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I would probably say, and this is because of my fear, right? My first time that I had a child, I was 36. And I thought about it. When they're 21, I'm 57. So I know that the limit's close. You know what I mean? So I'm going to start spitting them out now. You know what I mean? Now I'm going to start loading up and dropping the ammunition to have kids. Because I feel like maybe like 45.
Yeah, probably like 45 you should stop, right?
Yeah. I just don't want to, I just.
45.
Because you know you're out of touch with certain shit, right? Like I always feel like I'm going to be kind of cool. You feel me? But like, I don't know what's going to happen when my son's 15. And he's sitting there and he's doing some AI shit.
And you 60.
And he's trying to explain this AI shit to me. And I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm not interested, son. You know what I mean? Like, I got to try to, because now, like, even, I got to the point where I don't give a fuck about video games anymore. And my nephews would be sitting there like, oh, yo, you got to get on the game. I don't want to get on the fucking game. No, this game is raw. And I look at them like, it looks like it, but I don't want to play. And when I first got my nephews to move in with me, right? Like I started playing the Call of Duty with them. We built the bond through Call of Duty. But I was trash. And I'll tell you what, real shit, I was genuinely pissed off. You know what I mean? Because I'm playing it, that. I'm like, all right,
Especially when you used
this
to
little
be
son
nice.
of a bitch is cheating. I don't want to play this stupid fucking game.
But I'll
Turn
tell
this
you
shit
what. I'll
off.
tell you what though. This is your video game. This is what you look forward to. This is what you get your rocks off. This is how you spend your time, your energy. You know what I'm saying? Like something that you could be proud about. Oh, y'all ain't see that interview? Check out that interview. While other people are like, y'all ain't see my kill ratio. So it's different. Yeah. It's about what you really want to do and what's important to you too. But to answer your question, I think it does get to a point where it's kind of unfair to the kid that you having them at 65, 67, 8, 9, 10. You know what I mean? Like, it gets to a point where it's like, you're not going to be around for them. Like, how you supposed to support them? Are you wealthy enough to even financially leave something there for them? Or what are you doing? You know what I mean? I think 45 to 50. I'll never count nobody
Probably
out.
not past 50, definitely.
Not past 50. Nah.
Not past 50. You need to sit down.
Yeah, Al Pacino's selfish ass son of a bitch. He just said, fuck it.
But didn't they try to paint it like he got trapped? I never read up on it.
Can Al Pacino get trapped?
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely.
He's about to go out. What is he getting trapped for?
Munyon.
That's good. She can have it. You know what I mean? He's on his way out.
But that might be his mentality. Hey, he'd be in good hands. He or she.
In your 80s, I don't think you're thinking about getting trapped.
Is he there?
Yeah, I think he's in his 80s, ain't
He's
he?
up there.
Yeah, I think it was De Niro that had the
De Niro? Oh, damn, I'm fucking up.
I think both.
I think both.
I thought it was Pacino. I think it's Pacino.
It was both.
Pacino was recent with the young girl, and I wasn't familiar with the De Niro, but I wouldn't doubt it.
How you gonna get a scar like that in pussy?
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Dead ass though. You got Scarface eating pussy in his 80s.
My man.
That boy is a champ.
My man.
That boy is a champ.
Who gonna stop him?
Nobody.
Who gonna stop him?
I take all your fucking bullets. He takes all 7 shots. But nah, I feel like that because you're wise. I consider myself a wise person. So I feel like there is a lot of, you could say that, but 55, 60, if you really were to have kids at that age, you're still going to pass off a shitload of wisdom to them.
Of course. But, it's nothing like being present and shit, you know what I'm saying? And being functional, you know what I'm saying? At the best of your ability and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I got a fucked up back too, so I got to consider that. Because it's only going to get worse as I get older. I'm sure there's some shit that they'll do, like they said that they got some guy to start walking again from some Bluetooth they put in his brain or some shit. That was Simba talking about that, right? Or Charleston?
I saw a clip too. He was speaking different languages.
Yeah, now that's wild.
He would think it, the Bluetooth would communicate it, and then it would come back to, I don't know the full math clearly, but he was pulling stuff from the internet. He had access to the internet via Bluetooth. And it's this
brain?
big plastic white thing coming out the side of his head.
That they're eventually going to chip into your damn brain. Because I know, like, now if my kid acts up and I'm in a wheelchair, I'm pulling up on his ass. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, I'm pulling up. But that is that's tough. That's a real. I got to get to it. You know, I got to get to it. There's a lot of shit people don't know about me. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna start spitting them out. You gotta do it. Is your oldest 18?
yeah,
He's into music.
he's making beats.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how it starts.
He said he made those beats, man. I gotta watch him do it. So,
Was it too good?
you know
Or
what I'm
was like
saying? It was pretty good, man. He gotta do this in front of me now.
It
Yeah,
might be
right.
some bloodline, man. He might have,
right.
Nah, it's
inherited.
definitely got to be there.
Gotta be there.
It has to.
Yeah.
I'll be watching my son when he hears music, he be vibing. And my son now knows, he's at the point where he knows that the music is about to drop when I put one of his shows on, because I got my son on Gracie's Corner. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Definitely
Yeah,
heard of that.
Gracie's Corner is dope. Right? I don't want my son.
Here we go.
I don't want my son not to have seasoning.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So when I'm playing these YouTube videos, like, hey, I'm
Right.
like, click over. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want. I need him to have a little bit of seasoning. You know what I mean? He's Puerto Rican, Dominican, Colombian, and Venezuelan.
Right.
He's got to have a little seasoning. He's got to have a little vibe. When I'm playing that Gracie's Corner for him, and then the beat drops, bam. My son knows instantaneously, it's Gracie's Corner. As soon as he hears that, he's already, he gets up, he starts going. I'm like, all right, that's what I need. You know what I mean?
Is that the Snoop Dogg joint?
They have one with Snoop Dogg. I think that's with a different one, though.
Okay. Because I see he got a dope one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nah, Gracie's Corner's fire.
Word.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Gracie's
Shout
Corner.
out Gracie.
Yeah. Shout out Gracie. But like, I feel like your son, it was inevitable.
Right. Now, all my kids musically inclined and shit. My daughters, one play the piano, one playing the guitar.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the best. Instruments, you learn music on a different level. That's one of my biggest regrets. I never picked up an instrument. Love music. All types. You know what I mean? If it's good, it's good. No matter what the genre is. If it's good, it's good. I don't even got to know what you're saying. Some of these reggaeton songs, I'd be like, ooh, the vibe, the energy is sonically pleasing. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. I think when you're introduced to music at a young age, it's ingrained in you. Mm-hmm. It just is. Everybody we've spoken to, when we ask you, where did that initial influence of music, where did you initially draw inspiration, or who introduced you to music? It's always like, man, my mom used to open up the windows in the house and, you know, clean the whole crib, and she would have this playing. And it's like, so before you even knew what was what, you would be shown that type of stuff. You was catching energy.
Right.
You know, even from the womb, they say you got to play Beethoven. You know, which is like, it does something to the mind of a young child. The intricacies of the music and the notes and all the instruments and the symphony and the harmonies and all that stuff. They say it's really good to expand their brain, even from the womb, which is crazy. Music is powerful, man.
Are you like, do you not want your kids to be in music?
Nah, I definitely want them to, if they love music, I don't want to force it on them and shit. You know, I want them to be passionate about doing whatever they love to do and shit. My kids naturally just picked up and wanted to, you know. So, you know, hell yeah, I want them to be, you know, creators. You know what I'm saying? I want them to be creators. Yeah, so it ain't like I'm forcing music on them, but I ain't opposed to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Would you have a problem, and I'm saying this because I would. I'm just a blunt son of a bitch like that. If they got into some shit where they were like all about painting their hair or getting their nails painted and shit like that.
That's a good question, man. I'm going to talk my shit regardless. Just like I talk shit to my little homies and little nephews when I see them doing some shit that I don't agree with. You know, the young motherfuckers be staying away from me because I'm from the old school. I'm not going to let you do all that shit. You can't come around me with all that weird shit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see me not saying this to my kids. I'm still going to speak my opinion.
Right.
But whatever they choose to do, you know, they choose to do. But, you know, I don't, you know, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I want them to be themselves at the same time.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I definitely know. What do you got in there? Nope. Go take that shit off. You know what I mean?
Right.
Go take that shit off. Nah, not in this household, my boy. When you move out and you want to do your own thing, that's cool. But when you're in this under this roof, I need you to represent what you are. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that's important. I feel like that's something that people got away from too. Right. I mean, we used to, and I know you feel that way. We used to believe in ourselves as kings and queens. You know, and I feel like that when I think about my bloodline, I'm not going to force anything on them, right? I'm not going to be like, if they get into something and they get into it seriously, that I can't, you know, you can't force. I know that. But at the same time, I'm going to speak wisdom into my child young. And so that he understands that, you know, you're carrying on a bloodline. You know what I mean? You really gotta own this shit. You gotta own your last name. It's gotta mean something to you. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, I feel like it's a lack of being there as a parent. Because a lot of people, they go off into their own worlds, and one of them is right here on the cell phone. You know what I mean? And they forget that they got somebody that's looking up to them. And like he said, they're being raised by everything else. And so when you're a genuine person, when you're authentic, when you're real, I feel like they see it and they grow under that, and they carry on that legacy, and it's important to them. And so communication is important. I speak to my son now. He's 15 months old. Since the day he was born, I was talking to him like he was a grown-ass man. Right. Walking him around the pool, he's this little. You know what I mean? 5 pounds, that ass. I'm walking around the pool. Like, you got to be patient. Wait for your moment. You know what I mean? And I speak to him every single day. Deep-ass conversations. I know he don't know a damn word I'm saying. But guess what? When he starts understanding, it's already a soothing voice. He knows that. You know what I mean? And people really gotta, like, you gotta participate in your child's life. You can't bring a child into this world and not participate in helping them grow, molding them. You're carrying something on. Eventually, they're gonna be carrying you around. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like for me, that's gonna be a no-go in Daddy's household. You know what I mean? You better represent me well. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna represent you well.
Word.
That's what it's all about.
I like what you said too, though. You said I want my kids to be creators. I think that's so important. I think that's the most powerful shit. If we're doing forward thinking, if we're thinking about the future, all this stuff that's being automated, you know, the toll booths and fast food and grocery stores and everything is on an automatic, robotic path. The only thing that you cannot mimic or create is creativity. Things that you're pulling from the ether, things that you're pulling from your hereditary bloodline that you don't even know why you know it or why you understand it. That stuff cannot be mimicked. It can be mimicked, but it cannot be created. Cannot be the original. So empowering them to be creative, if it's through architecture or art or even sports, things that robots will never replace, I think that's the most powerful and best thing to do. And it just makes them a general cool motherfucker. When you come to school and you can rap, we were just laughing about this, the Bone Thugs and Harmony word for word, you was that nigga if you could do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Teach your kids some music. They're gonna have a couple up points off the kid who don't know nothing. Or can't play an instrument, can't paint something, can't put some poetry together, some words together, your thoughts. So creativity is definitely important.
Do you sit your kids down ever and just like school them?
Oh man, definitely. I sit them down and I sit them down and I just tell them stories. I tell them real stories about real shit. They be looking like,
really?
I'd be like, for real. I used to do that, and I'm all the way blunt and transparent with my kids.
Are they like, get out of here?
Nah, they know they dad. They know where he came from. They know my block. They know the block I'm from. Okay. You know what I'm saying? They never been on the block, but they know the block I'm from. They understand, like, you know what I'm saying?
This is what it is.
I'm very transparent with them. So, you know, I get them game through my experience.
Right.
It's different from just saying, don't do this or don't do this. It'd be like, it's as opposed to be like, man, this is why you shouldn't do this. Because when you know, you know what I mean? Everything I overcame is just a lesson for me to pass down. You know what I'm saying?
Those are the best lessons, the ones that you went through firsthand.
Right.
I'm not just telling you this to tell you this.
Right.
I seen it. I saw it. I lived it. I experienced it. I suffered. And I want to prevent you from doing that. So hear me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
this is coming from a genuine place. And I feel like kids really do feel that too. They really do feel when it's like a storybook versus Pop sitting you down and, you know, the lights a little dim and whatever you got on in the music and it's after dinner and we having a one-on-one conversation. It's like, it's real. I wish my dad did that more with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really get to meet my father until I was already an adult. And then I got to realize his first name and his middle name and his last name and why he did this and why we moved at that time and all that stuff. They didn't tell me that stuff when I was younger. I didn't have those conversations until I was well into my adulthood. So doing that for your kids and giving that perspective and kind of giving them that understanding as to why you tell them these things and why these rules are in place from a personal place, it goes a lot further than just rules on the wall.
Right.
You know?
And what about like the hip hop scene? Do people reach out to you?
Yeah. They don't send back verses, though. They reach out.
It's tough,
They say they fuck with me. They quote bars. They do all that shit. They give me their phone numbers. They don't send the verses back.
Buddy try to get body. Come on, man.
I send them light verses, too. Like, yo, I ain't even go that crazy.
Your light verse ain't a light verse, though.
I guess not.
That shit has to be intense. I used to do music. I tell the story all the time. I used to be doing music all the time, and I was always confident in myself. That's why I'm in front of the camera talking shit right now, right? But I was in the booth at DJ Shay's studio.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when I was in there, and I'm sitting there spitting a song that I thought was crazy, and then we got to take a break because it's rented out between two different groups, and then Benny comes on. And I hear the track he's spitting, and I'm like, damn, I really just spit that trash. You know what I'm saying? Because you got somebody that's elite with his pen.
Polished.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I really want to. Maybe maybe media's for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could do something else. I don't got to do this shit because you hear the difference. Now, if it was something that they were like, yo, we want to get you on this verse or this hook, I ain't sending back the verse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, because a light verse from him,
right,
is still crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's still crazy. So I know for a fact that most people, when they hear a Spesh verse, and they got to think about, like, what am I going to sound like next to him on a verse? A lot of these commercial rappers, that's tough. Because the same shit you're talking about, that battle rap is a different lane. That commercial rap, that's a whole different lane. Than when it's reality music. When it's from the heart, it's from the soul. What gave you that soul, though? Like, coming up, what was the inspiration for that?
So this what it was, right? First, the pain came from listening to motherfuckers like Pop. Let's get that understood. You know what I'm saying? Pop, when I listened to him and shit, like, because I was young, listening to songs like Brenda's Got a Baby, it was so vivid.
Right.
And it was pain. And I was like, dang, I like the way that makes me feel as a kid. And when I hear songs like Keep Your Head Up, which is like still one of my favorite songs to this day, it was a painful, inspirational feeling that I got from it. So I always knew I wanted to make that kind of music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even as I started rapping and I started getting favorite rappers from lyrical points of views like Nas, Big, Jay-Z, all these other guys who I started, falling in love with their lyricism.
Yeah.
I never forgot how I felt when I heard those songs. And only certain guys who had lyricism could take me there.
Right.
And make me feel like, they've been through some things.
Yeah.
It's really not too many of them that was lyrical that could do it. So I like the guys that made me feel pain. Pac was one of them. DMX was another one.
I was about to mention X.
You heard? Right. So X wasn't the most lyrical, but he was the most passionate. Mm-hmm. And I felt them. So I carried those things with my pen. When I wrote from my heart. So that's why I could give you these ventings and things of that nature. Because I studied those people that made music that, that gave you goosebumps and shit.
Yeah.
So I try to provide that same shit. That's why I like giving projects because I could give you some of everything.
Right, from start to finish.
Start to finish, I could give you some of that, some of this, and then I could give you a piece of me that's going to give you some goosebumps.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the best shit, man. I used to love digging into albums for people and listening it from the intro all the way to the outro, everything in between, because I want to know what you wanted. I want to hear it the way you wanted me to hear it.
Exactly.
Singles are dope,
Yeah, please don't listen to my shit on shuffle.
Oh, that's disrespectful.
Yeah,
that's the craziest shit you can do.
Don't listen to my shit on shuffle. I take real time in putting my shit together so that y'all can feel that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm painting a picture. This is a real picture. Don't listen to my shit on shuffle.
You got some type of mental illness if you doing it like that. What would possess you? Let it ride.
But some people you can't, right? Like some people you just want to, because it's not organized in that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? When it's organized and you listen to it that way, like when, for instance, 7 Shots, since we spoke about it, I was hitting the gym with my nephew, and I'm playing it through and through, but I kept playing it through and through. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to listen to the story that goes through, and that's what makes a classic album.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's the difference. It's interesting that you mentioned X, because I'll never forget, because X and Pac were my two early on, and DMX had an interview. And back then, the interviews, I'm reading it off the Source magazine. Could be a different magazine, but I believe it was the Source. And he said also, they're like, who do you listen to? He's like, I don't listen to nobody but myself. Talking about, I listen to X. You know what I mean? And you could hear that. You could hear the organic, like X was X.
Right.
He wasn't trying to be nobody else.
Right.
It was his lane and his lane only.
Right.
And when you mentioned Pac, my favorite Pac song is Holla at Me.
That's my shit too.
Yeah.
That's my shit.
Yeah, he goes in on that one.
He's dumping on that. And that beat fire. The feel on that record is great. The hook, that shit fire.
Yeah, he went in on that one. And then on that same All Eyes on Me, you got Life Goes On. You know what I mean?
I liked it. Trading War Stories. I love that album.
Yeah.
I love that album.
And that's the same thing for me. Like I came up off of, like obviously Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Like you listen to Michael Jackson. He's the, like, you know, my mother came home one day. I wanted the album. She didn't bring the album that day. I wasn't, you know, I mean, me and my mom were at odds. Young kid, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if we could, you know, politic anymore. We're not on the same level. Clearly, you don't understand me. You know what I mean? But Pac, I used to get the bootleg tapes, and I used to get the composition notebook and write down all his lyrics, even though I didn't understand the words at that time. So the word wasn't the word. Right. You know what I mean? Only until 10 years later, I'm like, damn, I used to always rap and say this, but he was saying some shit that I shouldn't have been speaking about that young. You know what I'm saying? But that was Pac. There was that pain in that music, that feel in the music, and maybe that's why I'm so much like that I enjoy a 38 Spesh. Right. I thoroughly enjoyed Joe Budden's era.
Right.
You know what I mean? When he was into that emo music, that mood music, and that for me is what gets me. That when I listen to Nas like that, or I listen to Big Elgo like that, you know what I mean? That's the music for me, and I think everybody has a little bit of that in them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think everybody has that a little bit in them, but I know that for a fact. If you're watching right now and you're listening to 38 Spesh, before everything, hit that like and subscribe button, please.
Right now.
Share it. But I believe that when they hear, or that they should listen to you, because everybody has a little bit of that void in them. There's always that moment throughout a day that you're not out there at the club, or you're not out there in the gym going crazy and shit. Like, although I listen to Spesh in the gym all day, the people that need to tap into that and they get a little bit of that, like Kevin Durant only just realized in that moment what he was missing out on. The people that LeBron James posted, he only hears that in that moment. But guess what? As soon as they heard that, what did? They went back through the archives. You know what I mean? And they're listening to everything Spesh is putting out, which is what happens to most people. They're watching us now, and a comment that I love that they're starting to say is, oh, I just started listening to y'all. What does that say to me? That says, oh shit, I'm late. Yeah. So you're already popping. But then I see the statistics, because I'm somebody, I'll be paying attention to the way it moves, and I see the older episodes that are getting views now, because they're trying to catch up to it. As a musician, when they start digesting those projects, when you're gone, oh my God, the amount of appreciation. They ain't fuck with Nip.
Right.
They didn't fuck with Nip before he was gone. It was after he passed that they were like, oh, they ain't fuck with Fred.
Right.
Before he passed.
Right.
Shame on everybody that didn't fuck with Fred before he passed. And they catch on to it, and it's like, damn. Right. You never know what you got until it's gone. You know what I mean? Your music is gonna live on forever.
Hello.
I appreciate that.
It's gonna live on forever.
I appreciate that.
What is your plan with music? Because I feel like you did everything, but you didn't at the same time. And I mean that because, like, if you stop making music right now, I could still listen to the music forever.
Appreciate that.
But I'll still be kind of mad.
Right. No, fact, though. Like, honestly, man, I got a lot more to say and shit, so I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot more to say and shit. You know what I mean? I'm going to be around for some time and shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going nowhere no time soon.
Let's go.
As I grow, that y'all grow with me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be able to touch on shit from different perspectives every year.
Who was it that brought that up about battle rappers? They said, I think people are going to run out of things to say.
Disaster.
That's impossible. Yeah. That ain't going to happen.
As a kid, I thought it would happen.
Well, with me being a puncher, right, I got to keep coming up with shit. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, because I done came up with 1,000 punches, in my mind, it's always there. Right. It's always something there.
Plus, you said
express it.
You're pulling from life, so as life goes on, as
you're gonna get new experiences,
new babies come in, and new levels and new opportunities and all these things.
Yeah, Spesh going to talk about that submarine. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's going to have the illest submarine punchline. You know what I'm saying?
Type of shit. Right.
That's true. Yeah, I thought it was funny when he said that, especially coming from him. I didn't expect that, a battle rapper, because that's the game, coming up with new stuff. Yeah. It was interesting to hear him say that.
For sure. And everybody has their own thought process on it when it comes to it, but a creator is going to create.
Creator's going to create, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a fact. See, with me, I know how this shit go. I got to come up with a lot of these shits. It's not like, shout out to the battle rappers and shit, but they doing 3 verses and shit how many times a year? You know what I'm saying? How many 3 verses, how many times a year? I got to do 2 verses on one record, and I got to punch throughout both of them. Right. And I'm doing that shit 10 times, at least 3 times a year. You know what I'm saying?
That's a different output, man.
Yeah. I'm putting out a lot of bars yearly, year after year after year after year since 2000 and fucking, a long time.
You ever catch yourself saying the same shit? And like, oh fuck, I think I said that.
No, he doesn't do it.
I never did it. No. I don't even repeat bars that I rapped on other places. These niggas go to the stations and spit a verse from their album.
Right.
I never did that. I never did that. If you go look at any of my freestyles, that's the only place you're going to be able to see that. You go to look at anywhere where I freestyle and you want to hear that, it's not on no album. I don't do that.
That's dope.
I give you fresh bars for right then and there, and I keep it pushing, and that's the only place that shit lives. I don't recycle bars. I look at that as being lazy. It's too much shit to say. What the fuck I'm gonna say something again for?
Yeah. They don't know.
You know?
They don't know.
Tough.
I might talk about the same shit, but I ain't gonna say this. I'm gonna say it in a million different ways.
That's the challenge.
Yeah.
They don't know. That's all I got to say. They don't. But I appreciate hip hop. I appreciate music, and the artists that I fuck with are like that. You know what I'm saying? And it really is a rarity. And in a sense, that's why we do everything at the Danza Project. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to be able to interview everybody. But I can't escape how authentic I am. So when certain people reach out to me, I'm like, what am I gonna look like in that interview? Like what is it gonna say about me? Because I'm not gonna be able to, and we've tried it. You know what I mean? Like we'll have an interview with somebody up here, and I don't, it's early on. I don't really respect their craft. Yeah. So you know what I mean? When they're talking their shit, I'm like, you know what I mean? I got to hit them with a thumbs up real quick or something because it doesn't feel right for me. And I look back at that in the camera and I'm like, nah, that ain't it for me. Right. And so we get into entrepreneurs and athletes because I want to have conversations with people first off that I respect.
Real shit.
Why would I sit here and a lot of people are like, oh, you know, they want me to pull something out of somebody and ask the controversial shit that I genuinely don't give a fuck about. Right. You know what I mean? If somebody's doing some controversial shit on their own time, what the fuck is it for me to sit there and invite them into my studio and be like, oh, you know, you had this going on and try to press them about that shit? That's just corny to me. You know what I mean? I'd rather sit down and have a conversation with someone I respect. I respect you, Spesh.
I appreciate that, bro.
Absolutely. And I appreciate what you are for the hip-hop culture. I appreciate that you're the type of motherfucker that makes people step their bars up. Yeah. You know what I mean? When they hear you, when a rapper hears you, when he's up and coming, they know. All right, maybe I got to do a little better. You know what I mean? Maybe I got to be a little better. Maybe this ain't it for me. But you also inspire creativity in others to be able to bring those bars. And that's the dope shit for you. Do you feel like if you were to leave today that you did enough personally? Or do you feel like there's still more to do?
It's always more to do. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how much I did, I still never did enough. You know what I'm saying? Even though, you know, I really did do enough, but it's still so much more to do. You know what I mean? Fact, my work ain't never done. You know what I'm saying? I'm just now getting a little bit of acknowledgement and recognition from my pen. Now it's time to show and prove the rest of these people. Yeah. You know, it's still like a secret. If it's still a secret. It's like if you know, you know. Right. And you know, it's gonna get to the point where it ain't no secret no more. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Facts.
You know what? Because I was thinking about all the artists that I was speaking on. There's one more artist that I listened to that I feel like is still a secret. Because he's got crazy bars. Is RJ Payne.
That kid got bars.
Yeah.
That kid got bars, man. I've been said that shit about 4 or 5 years ago. They asked me who was an up and coming kid, who the new guys that, and I said, nah, that guy right there. That's before I met him and shit. Yeah. Or, you know, before we ever spoke. Yeah, I heard him and I was like, oh, he cut from that cloth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's Payne.
Yeah, he cut from that cloth.
He's fire. But like, I know this for a fact because, you know, the certain artists you follow, especially when you listen to on Spotify, certain shit just keeps popping up. You're on there weekly.
You see that shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't fuck around.
Yeah, every week there's a new record.
You noticed that, huh?
Yeah. Hey. I got no choice. That shit's on the top of the list.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I open that shit up right now, there's something in there.
Nah, it's always some shit because, you know, I produce a lot.
Okay.
You know, so I be having to, you know, make sure I leave room to put out other people's shit that I produce and shit. So, you know, every week is something coming out from me and shit. You know what I'm saying?
If I just keep dropping heat.
Yeah, I ain't playing.
Being that you got such a large body of work, for people who aren't as hip to you and they're just getting to know you, they're just catching up, what's something that you would recommend? Hey,
7 motherfucking shots.
right. Yeah.
You want to know 38 Spesh? Go listen to 7 shots, and I guarantee you're going to understand what the fuck is going on after that. Period. 7 shots. You know what I'm saying?
7 shots is crazy, but I can't do it because of my introduction that was like organic and in the zone, right? Venting.
Crazy. You want to get now? If we talk about a song, if we just gonna talk about a song, you gotta go listen to Venting.
1 and 2, you gotta listen to them through and through.
I would have to say that
because that shit just. I'm telling you, Did we do that off air? I think we might have did that off air, and dead ass like goosebumps. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm sitting next to this motherfucker right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is crazy. And again, like being a fan of Pac, Budden coming up, and DMX, and listening to that music, that the message in it is so strong, and how you're throwing punches, but the meaning means something. Oh my God! I feel like if after this cuts off air, which we're about to do soon, I gotta let y'all listen to it to get that vibe, you know what I mean? Because I think I just played Venting 2. You gotta listen to Venting 1.
Facts, man. Shit.
Get into that mood.
Yeah.
You in that mood, Jack?
I wish they let us bump more music on here.
Yeah, I know they be fucking.
If we could have like a live listening, the whole.
Because
that would be a different
YouTube
mood.
just be cutting our shit off. They don't cut it off, but it's like all the restrictions, and I'm trying to get paid too. You feel me? Like I need some money too.
I get it.
But that's how it is. You know what? Fuck it. For the people that are watching right now,
Hey,
because you could play it, and I can cut it off later. For the people that are watching right now, before we cut out, I'm gonna leave y'all with a track.
everybody in here right now that's been rocking from the beginning, I hope you got your joint. I hope you got your little Modelo, whatever it is that you sipping on. Hope y'all in y'all vibe, enjoying this, paying attention. Here right now, the gems being dropped. Pay attention. Turn the volume up. Put the headphones on.
Yeah, because it's, I don't know, should I play Venting or should I give him something off 7 shots? I just talk shit.
With it.
You can't go wrong.
Invasion.
Welcome to the commission.
Word up. Y'all gotta pardon me though, man. Pardon me, I'm just venting, man. Hey, I'm thinking about my daughter, man. You know I miss her. Wish I could kiss her. I lost her. Only thing I got left is this picture. Put it in the Bible, now she resting with the scriptures. 1 year later, the Lord blessed me with a sister. You know I'm real thankful. But you know it's still painful. All that I can do is know I got an angel. But y'all don't know what I'm going through. I told Phils when I was sitting in prison that shit was gonna change, and nigga, I did it. I'm a nigga that been in position. I lost everything dealing with this business and living. I had to sell all my shit to my niggas. My bracelet, my chain, watches, whip to my niggas. I stayed strong off the strength of my niggas, but taking laws after laws wasn't fixing my figures. I could only move 3 a week. That ain't enough to feed Lil Just, me and Trees. What the fuck? But everybody, they crown me nice. I made an impact on everybody around me life. Real talk made a difference for the team twice. 2 plugs, let them get it for the same price. Like what you mean, my nigga? It's all good, do your thing, my nigga. This is real life. But pardon me, I'm just venting. Thinking about some things that I should've did different. Should've never fell out position. Getting dissed by a nigga that used to be my assistant. You ever lost for 100,000, my nigga? Fuck that. Have you ever lost a child, my nigga? I hide the pain when I smile, my nigga. I stay strong, but I don't know how, my nigga. The worst feeling when I first turned villain. Holding my baby ashes, staring at the church ceiling. Asking God for forgiveness, repentance, reverse sinning. Is this because them bad dealings and burnt bridges? Is this because them scorned women with hurt feelings? Is this because I'm a thug? Is these drugs worth dealing? Made my first million. Everything changed when I lost my first meal. Thought it all be the same, but it's hard fucking with niggas that's not pure. It's sad when you think that they love you, but not sure. I spent a few nights at the Westin, top floor, blue money, but I invested a lot more. So tell me how y'all gon' question my spot for. Had at least $500,000 in my dresser, the top drawer. The difference was I was connected, I'm not y'all. Beach from Cali to Texas that got raw. Made a few calls, got there, I paid a few bras to get it back and made a few laws. But pardon me, I'm just venting. Think about some things that I should've did different. Now I'm back in position. Cutting off niggas, ain't fucking back with you bitches. I'm done. And I'm out.
Jesus Christ.
It's crazy.
That is different. That is different. And then, because it's in that song, what was that like for you losing your first child?
Oh, man.
Because that shit, every time I hear it, when we had Charleston White up here, when the episode ended is when I heard about Gilly.
Right.
My son was sick.
Right.
I couldn't sleep because I'm like, yo, what if something happened to him? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. Like, like, those is the worst losses that you could take. These is humbling experiences and shit. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is that I end up having a daughter a year later, like I said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it just be crazy how things work and shit, But it's a very humbling experience, man. And it's just growing pains. You know what I'm saying? It's growing pains and shit, and it strengthens you. It prepares you for because it's so many more losses to come. So you take these heavy losses first, and it makes the other ones that come not be so much more heavy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Word. But it's strengthening. You know what I'm saying? And there's no easy way to deal with these losses. These kind of losses is no easy way to deal with them. They don't get no easier and shit. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is just, you gotta treat everybody accordingly so you don't have no regrets. That's the main thing about life. You treat everybody accordingly. But, I deal with losses a lot, but what make me be able to cope with it is I know I was fair last time I was, I treated that person good, like I got good.
Right.
So that's just a lesson, for people out there. You treat everybody like this may be your last time seeing them. Yeah. And then it'll be a little more easier to deal with when you won't see them again.
And for I know when we posted the clip, Simba got emotional. I don't know if you saw that.
Definitely.
When we were talking about that situation. So many comments came in of people that lost a child.
Right.
What advice? Because it seems like a lot of the people that were commenting, and I'm somebody that's active in the comment section, especially on the YouTube. What advice would you give to those people that seem lost and how to get through a situation like that of losing a child?
Man, it's crazy because, there's really no formula to coping.
No handbook.
It's no handbook. Everybody got their own different remedies that work for them personally. What I can say is that things will eventually get better, but I can't advise you how to deal with it because it's very personal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is that it gets better.
Right.
Just got to deal with it.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Listen, and for that, again, we had 38 Spesh in the building again. This is episode 129. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. For that, we're out.
Yeah.
We got some more for them coming on the way.
Yeah.
Tell
a friend. Tell a friend.
Trust.
Man.
Cut us off, Orlando. Cut us off.